Hello, it's that time again. Time for another weekly live stream for Mythruna development. Trying to cut a release this weekend, so we're just trying to finish up some last minute stuff. This will be the Halloween release, the release that we'll be using on the Halloween party next week. Before we get started, let me thank the patrons. You guys rock! Um, Seriously, money's tight these days, so it's really good to have this coming in to help pay for the servers and stuff. All right, without too much further ado, we'll go ahead and get started. Um, so tonight, I think we will. Okay, I'm going to bring up the little useless dashboard just so I have it. Okay. So now we have that down there. All right, so from last week, I had this thing, body by gender. I can do a body type index, created all that. That's what we're going to be working on tonight, the color selection on the in-game character screen. Because there's, right now when you log in to the game, it will let you edit your character if it hasn't set certain things, but right now I have that set to always let you edit your character. Because then I can mess with the skin colors and stuff like that. But once we can change them in game, I won't need to do that anymore. So like if we go back in here, yeah, and you'll see I have like a ton of. I was working on character creation versus character update and stuff, and ended up with a bunch of duplicate things. So we've got so I need to fix that too. I spent some time fixing the male model to be the right size because he was actually shorter than the female model, and now all of my settings for this stuff are a little wrong. So we've got the classic fade, and she's still got her eggplant colors from last time. So let me go ahead and fix her name too. So save and continue. But yeah, so I basically want to put that color selection stuff in the character screen from before. This is kind of temporary. Eventually this will be where you manage what your character's wearing and where, and check your armor stats and stuff like that. Right now it's kind of a temporary stand-in to let you just kind of put some clothes on your character. These are the new default clothes that you start with when you create your first naked character. So we've got eggplant fade and her burlap shorts and shirt, but then I think down here we'll put like an appearance window that has a skin color and hair color. So that'll be the first thing we do, and then if we get done with that, one thing is that the male model right now is just using the female texture. So he's kind of got, it kind of works. I was surprised. He's kind of got boobs and he's got the little, patch there. But I've got the old, I'm set up in Blender to texture paint, so we can take some of the old, human male skin from the original model I got long, 12 years ago or whatever, and repaint some of this to look more masculine. So if we get to it, we'll do that. I'm really pleased I was able to rework the male armature and stuff to match a little better. So his animations are still the female animations, so he walks a little effeminate, and so on, and some of the hands move funny and stuff, but everything lines up much better now, and I can show you if it's I haven't actually checked it since I redid the armature to make sure the hands are in the right place and stuff, but I can show you how we can fix that too. So anyway, lots to do tonight, so let's go ahead and get started with the fun stuff. So the clothing editor, that's not what we want. We want the character menu state. Yes. So here we have where I create So we've got a window for the clothing selector, and okay. Actually, I have to stop and read for a second. Oh yeah, and this is the one for what we're wearing. And so we'll make another one for appearance. Yeah, and so this one will be oh yeah. Container appearance window. We'll probably want a watched entity to look at the character. And I think maybe that'll be good enough. Yeah, I think that, well, when we get into it, I'll need some other things, I'm sure. But let's get the initial window set up. Where do I want? So this is where, yeah, so this is kind of where we set up the 3D space. And so up here is where we set up the windows and things. So we will appearance window. So this is how you make a Lemur UI, right? I already have a sidebar container, so we're going to add a new container, and we make it another window, which gives it the styling of the, the border and stuff. And then we'll give it the title bar based on style, which is just a label. Oh yeah, so what we'll want is we want a color chooser for the skin. We want, normally I'd create like separate classes to do these windows, but this is a temporary screen. This is a temporary screen because eventually this part of the UI will be a lot different. This is kind of a stand-in to let us mess with the settings. Eventually, if you want to change your hair and skin color, you'll have to go to an NPC to do that. You won't just be through a nice UI. Or, potentially you'll make your own hair dye and do it yourself or whatever. Skin dye, whatever. Okay, so we need those. And so what we will do is, what do I call them? It's exactly what they should be. Skin color chooser. Well, first what we'll do is create a nested for properties. New container. So that'll just be for the properties, and that's good. So this would be props, add child, new label. So we're going to add a label to say skin, and then skin color chooser equals props, add child, new color chooser. And is that all I need? Clothing editor state. That's not one I need. We need, I want to see the appearance page, which is under network character. Appearance page. What did I do to set up those color choosers? New color chooser. Yes, so I think we could just use the default constructor. And that'll be easy enough. And then we want it to be in this next column. And so then we'll do hair. And hair color. Okay, so that'll set up the UI for us. I don't know that anything else needs to be done with that. So let's just check and see what it looks like. And if any of you are on, so reminder that the link to download the game and join the Discord is up in the upper left. Password's there too. Oakster is actually logged into the server right now. That's if you go to the join multiplayer, it pops up as the public host and you can join and create an account and stuff. And Oakster's logged into there right now. You could join him and build stuff while I live stream as one option for your Friday evening. That's what we'll be doing next week. We'll all be logging into the server while I live stream and showing off our costumes that we make this week, presuming we all make costumes. Okay, so I did fade before. Let's do test me like I named him No Dupe. Let's give him a real name. Let's see. He should be Kalen. So I've already got a Kalen, so let's leave him as No Dupe for now so that I can keep track of him. Okay, so save and continue play. Let's see what the looks like in game, and then we'll hook it up to stuff. Yeah, so I see I had him in the... Okay, so let's take a look at what he looks like. Time. Let's roll time backwards so we can see what's going on. Oh, I can't do it. Yes, I can. I'm doing the day instead of the... Okay, so that's what he looks like. And see, his animations are not that bad, even though they're... And actually, his hand is holding the thing okay, too. It's not too bad. So that's just the copied animations from Fade. And what I plan to do, if I have time tomorrow... Oh, look, it worked. Oh, that's right. There should be a button to do the pop-up. Yeah, we don't want to do this like this. We want the color chooser to be a pop-up, but I'll copy that code from the appearance page. Yeah, so I added a couple new texture types. We've got this sort of worn leather. There's a dark worn leather, aged leather rather, and a regular natural aged leather. I added the black steel. There's also I added a wrought iron color, which is kind of cool. Like if we... Let's edit the basic shirt and I'll show you. So we can search and replace the natural linen with metal wrought iron. I just couldn't think of a better name for the sort of black. And it's cool. It's got like, pockmarked... I don't know, I think it's a cool look. A little bit of a red, rusted tint to it. Yeah, nobody in the game is ever going to get this close to another player's chest or stomach or whatever. But I think it's a cool looking thing. It's completely unrealistic for a shirt, but it's for buckles and buttons and things, or little strips, that might be on armor. Anyway, so I'm getting distracted. What we were talking about is this. Yeah, these need to be buttons with a color in them, a pop-up. So I'm going to copy that stuff from the appearance page. We had a single color chooser pop-up and some stuff there. And then gosh, I wish I'd remembered that to begin with. Just saved some time. Okay, so the appearance window will have a single color chooser pop-up that both of these guys share. And I don't think I need to keep the action button around. No, that's all I need to keep. And then, yeah, the target. Yeah. Okay. Except for in this case, that'll be interesting. Why don't we do... managing the target ready for VR texture. Yeah, ready for VR. That's right. Yeah, if we had VR. I do want to see Mythruna in VR with swinging swords with my hand and stuff. That'd be awesome. Okay, do I want to do this as separate pop-ups? That would be a lot easier, I think. Yeah, we'll just do them as separate. It's kind of a waste, but it keeps me from having to switch this target and build logic in for that. So we'll create 2 different pop-ups for hair, and this is why normally I'd create like a class for this, but that's maybe too much to try to accomplish in a live stream. I end up, like last week, you know, we hack and slash through some things, and then once the live stream is done and I've eaten my dinner, I come back and redo a bunch of stuff. You know, we get it working and then I make it better. Okay, so this is the color changer pop-up. Oh, and we will need, I do have buttons. Yep, skin color button, action color button. Yeah. Okay, so we will need these 2. This is why, if I had made a pop-up window to do this, you would have trouble not selling the IP if it was... Yeah. The thing is, like, I actually, when I bought my Oculus Quest 2, I bought the PC Link cable so that I could develop VR games for it. The problem is, like, I haven't upgraded Windows, and so that machine that I do development on is, this machine is still Windows 7, and so it won't connect. Otherwise, there might already be some progress in that area, but... Okay, so what was I doing? Oh, over the air. So, yeah, I don't have Oculus Quest 3 money at the moment, unfortunately. Things are really tight around here these days. I have to free up some cash here soon. Okay. So we've got that. What else was I copying? I was copying the setup of the pop-up. Okay, so we need the base ID. Yes, so... Okay, so that is what it is. And then... we don't have an element ID because we're just what we are. So I'm going to just call it new element ID. Form, so we have a form. I think I have, yep, element ID loaded, so color chooser pop-up. It's got buttons. Okay, so we actually made 2 different ones. And so skin, yep. You know what? My life would be so much easier, I think, if I just go ahead and write the class. I think things will be easier. So what we will do, yeah, because there's the reset button. So let's make a color button extends action button. Actually, it's more than just the button we want. We want a color picker, and then I did that, didn't I? We will copy a bunch of stuff because I'm a cut and paste coder from way back. So within a color picker, we will want the action button. Actually, there's no reason to do that here. Why don't we go ahead? No, okay. I won't. Okay. Okay, let's just get the UI part working, and then I'll worry about hooking it up to things. So this part is actually private. Let's make that private. I just remembered there's another kind of critical thing I have to do to the, it's going to come up here too, I think. The color choosing, it sets the component back right on the main thread, or on the render thread, and over a network that's going to be really slow and make the UI very choppy. Okay, what was I doing? So we got the color choose, the color ref. We don't need the targets. Public color picker. Element ID. Element ID. Okay, so no, we don't need that either. We can just fudge it. So we want to make we want all this stuff. So this chooser, the pop-up. Yeah, sorry. So it's the pop-up. Things always take longer than I expected them to. Okay, so then the pop-up, the chooser equals pop-up, add child, sure. Actually, what we'll do is we'll make this a panel container. No, I think, in fact, I think that this is probably not even, oh no, there's a lot of setup for the action, for the button. Sorry, designing as I go. So, pop up, we're going to add child for the buttons. Why did we add a blank label? And so we're going to say this public void close pop-up, and that'll be this one. Yep, so we just want to close pop-up. When we hit OK, we're going to close the pop-up. The color ref is going to equal the chooser, not the chooser, but the chooser. Okay, so I don't need this stuff anymore. This should be just a matter, for now, we just say pop-up, remove from parent. And just for fun, open pop-up for symmetry, because I like symmetry, and you'll find if you as a developer develop a love for symmetry, it will pay off in many, many different ways. Like you get used to whenever you create something, have a place where you destroy it. Whenever you initialize something, have a place where you terminate it, and always building those life cycles and things, you gain some nice symmetry. So this would be okay. We're leaving the buttons separate. That's interesting because the OK. Oh yeah. I'm doing the reset button separate. Sorry. And we don't need to add it to anything because we're going to add that outside. Open pop-up. B side D. We're good. We don't need this part. That's for good. Okay, we made the button. Now we're going to add the background. Oh, I didn't copy those over. Okay, so we just say color. This is the actual color we are. We'll be black at first. So this is the button, which we're going to make public because I'm being lazy. And then the quad background component is the background. Okay, so yeah, put this back up top. Okay. So the button we created, now we're going to create the color background with the current color. Button set the background to the color background. And we're not doing the reset button here. Okay. And then open pop-up needs to yeah. Okay, that works. So what we're doing here is, oh yeah. Get top left. We probably don't. Yeah. So in the UI, there is there's a scale to it because I scale all the UIs to be like a standard scale, and so when we get the world translation of some GUI element on screen, you have to, and we want it in GUI space, we have to rescale it, and there's a function for that. All right, so we get the top left of the button because we want the pop-up to show up right over the button. Don't need to do that. Chooser, set color. We don't need to do that, but let's do it just in case. Okay. And then we show the pop-up. Now, this won't hook it up to the UI, but at least we have a color picker. So we're going to redo this stuff up here that I was doing before. We don't need any of that crap anymore. Yeah. Okay. So we need a skin picker. Careful if you pick your skin. And a hair picker. I'm a picker. I'm a grinner. I'm gonna get blocked if I keep singing. Alright. So skin picker. New skin. Oh no. Skin picker equals new skin picker. And then oh, new color picker. And then instead of that, we say skin picker dot button. So we add the button. And then props, add child, new action button, new call method action, reset. Actually, we can be simpler than that by saying skin picker reset. Two. Okay, so that'll put a little reset button right after it. Okay, so we'll do another one. Oh yeah, so don't need that anymore. For hair. Hair picker button. And reset. So we're going to have to, hook it up to the right thing. Okay, so we want one more thing here, say reset. And we want a default color, and that we will provide on this default color equals default color, color set default color, and that's what we'll do here as well. And eventually, so when I get this all hooked up to the UI, I have to obviously update the components, and we'll wire that up. Once I get the UI looking right, which we're already halfway through, that's unfortunate. Okay, so all that's looking good. Got our nice color picker class, which cleaned up this up here a lot. We created a reset button. We need to give it a default color, which we will steal from here. Eventually these might have to be pulled from, obviously different races might have different default colors, so we might have to put that in the spreadsheet. Okay, so hair color here, skin color here. All right, let's see where I have the compile errors, because there's going to be tons of them, I'm sure. Look at that. All right, so yeah, forgot my curly brace. So I think this week I'm going to try to put out a short video every day showing off the Mythruna feature, or a costume I made or something, to kind of build a little bit of hype for next Friday. I want to try to get, it'd be cool if we get like at least a half a dozen people on the server. My cable got tied up in things here. Alright, so let's do fade. Shouldn't show up as easy. What I was talking about before, I'm not going to get distracted. We got to focus. We've got to focus. I love those jack-o'-lanterns, man. They turned out so good. All right, so hey, look at that. Okay, so I could be happier with the layout, and I know why that happens. And so we should be set up so if I click this, it should, pop up. But look at that. That's a problem. So we're going to have to fix to make sure we're not going off the side of the screen. And my OK button is, of course, way over there. But we should be set up, so if I just click off it. Okay, so we're going to have to fix those to pop up. And even if I had moved this to something, so it's not pulling back yet. Okay, so they're there. I'm going to fix this layout issue. Actually, it's fine for now. I'm going to fix where the pop-up goes, because that's... that's not going to work. Okay, so, but then we can go ahead and get things hooked up. And so what that entails, it's one of the reasons I made this get top left function was so that if I do this, vector 3f scaled, and then I can do vector, I think it's vector 2f. This I can actually look at Javadoc for. So we can go to the pop-up state, get GUI size. It's a vector 2f. Size equals yeah. So I'm just trying to make sure this panel has a like current screen size, GUI size, and we get the size of our panel, and we can say if, yeah, we'll do it as an if because just because it'll be easier to put debug statements in if it's somehow wrong. Equals GUI size x minus size x. So basically we slide that position over. Oops, we want the scaled size. So if it's the GUI size x minus the size x, so if it's over by the side of the window, we'll slide it over. And we'll do the same thing for y, just in case. Actually, y is not going to be a problem, and the bottom of the screen is actually 0, and so we'll just do, we'll see if that fixes it. I'm not going to look right now because we'll just go ahead and we're going to start wiring up the components. And so for each of these, I think we'll go ahead and wire in the character entity as well. And so we'll say this dot character equals, we're going to watch an entity. We're going to watch the player, and we're going to watch the skin color and hair color classes, okay? And then actually we're going to watch the entity in on enable, just like we start. Okay. But yeah, okay. This will be our right. And then in disable, we want to release that character. Oh, that's character entity, isn't it? And then in so if character entity update, reset colors. Okay, so that's good. And then in here, character entity release, and to keep us honest. This is what I was talking about symmetry before. You get used to it, right? Everywhere I do something in enable, I need to do something in disable. And in Monkey Engine, it's always like when you're enabled, set your stuff up. During update, you can update your stuff because that's called every frame. And then in disable, you clean up what you did. Okay, so we want to reset the colors, appearance colors, just in case we have other colors someday. Protected, void. Okay, so skin color, skin equals watched entity.get skin color class. And then we will say skin picker update skin.getColor. I think it's what it is. Let's check skin color. Get color. Yep. I was a nice guy. Alright, so skin color, hair color, hair color, hair. Okay, so what we actually want to say here is if skin equals null, null, if hair equals null, send null, or get some hair color. Okay, so that sets us up there. Now we need to color picker updates. Okay, so if color equals null, reset, return. Otherwise, this color set color. It's basically we're just resetting the color we passed around to everybody. Actually, color chooser might have taken a color, probably color model actually. Yeah, it's better if we keep those separate. Okay. Now, we want the ability to set back the color. So let's pull in some fancy Java functional programming stuff. Consumer color RGBA. Callback. Okay. And private. Blank. This dot callback. Okay, so then in here, yeah, we have to detect the color reference changes. And okay, so I'm going to change the name of this method because I don't like it. Update selected color. And then in here, we just we'll have just a general update. Excuse me. If, oh, you know, though, yeah, it's just going to be easier to do it this way. So if the color ref updates, then we call back. What's accept color ref dot get. So we'll call update on both of these every frame because we're not an actual scene thing, so we don't get called. And so we'll check to see if the color chooser has changed its value, and if it does, we'll call that callback. So we still have to wire up the callback. We still have to on update the color skin picker update, hair picker update, so that every frame they get a tick. And then in here, when I create the new color picker, I have to say what I want to do with it. And in here, in this case, I'm going to say character entity set new skin color. Should work for that. And then, oh, I messed up. And so this should be hair color. And so basically whenever the player has that color picker popped open and they set the color, it's going to call this, and we're going to reset the component on the entity. Oh, I cannot. We are not allowed to directly edit entities from the client because that's a security thing. So what we need to do we not already have the game session? We do have the game session, and the game session will let us run scripts. Game session state. Okay. So this gets again, everything's always a little more complicated than you originally think it will be, for sometimes good reasons. So we want to get, I don't think this lets us run things directly, but I thought I'd check. Nope. Okay, so we're going to have to get the session. Is that called get session? Get game session. Okay, so instead of what I was doing, which was where? Right here. We're going to make this a little more complicated. Okay, so in here, I call it session state, session state, get game session, run action. So we're going to run an action, which is basically like running a script on the object. So we're going to run an action on the object, and hope this works. Oops. Okay, so on our character, our player, that's what I called it in here. We're going to run set hair, or set skin color, and we're going to pass it what I was passing here, only the the skin color version, obviously. Okay, and similar thing here. Oops. Oops. Hair color. Hair color. The thing is, when we create the player entity, I don't think it's a scriptable object. So we have to go and add these hooks on the back end. Let me just see if we compile real quick first. Actually, we can try to run and it'll just fail to call back. Character entity, apply changes. That's what it is. See the character editor, when we haven't even created the character yet, watched entity. Is different because like I hold the entity in my hand. I haven't actually created a real one on the server yet, so it's all on the client. So I can do whatever I want to it. But for security reasons, a client can't directly set entity data, because that would basically let any player with a hacked client, set whatever they wanted about any object on the world. So the only way you can interact with the world is through specific game interfaces, running scripted actions on objects, or using the pre-built API, sort of the, the game session API that's part of the Mythruna layers, or the world client, etc. Fade. Let's check fade because she's purple and I want to make her not purple, but I want to do it in game. Okay, so we're going to look for an error when I do this. I mean, not yet. Wait till I click the buttons. Okay, so start jack-o'-lanterns. Character. Okay, so let's wait for all that stuff to move. Okay, so if we come in here and set, yeah, okay. No action ID for, yep, so it tried to call set skin color. Excuse me. Tried to call set skin color. We're also not initializing the color correctly, so that's another thing we need to do. And I will do that real quick before we get into the scripting part. So reset appearance colors. If we just call this, well, we need to get the other thing hooked up first, because if I call this, it's going to try to call back because we're not doing anything to check to see if we've actually changed the color. So by updating the UI to have the purple skin and green hair, it would try to set that purple skin and green hair back on the thing, and then we would get the same error, only we wouldn't get a chance to. It would happen as soon as we tried to pop open the UI. All right, so we want to see, what do we create? Do we give characters an object type? Where do we create entity? That's the backup entity, so that's where we're copying things. Interesting to see. Oh, thanks. Yeah, it's kind of all weird, and there's already all this infrastructure built in, and I have to keep it in my head. And much of it is the open source stuff. So who creates the character entity? Oh, we already created that in the account creator thing. So, or character hosted service. We create the character. We do not give it set components character. What do I call it? Object type info. So in order for all those cool, object scripts to work, like when we have, like when I define, that test wand has all of these actions on it, it needs to have an object type of test wand. And so that's done through this. And so object type info create. Okay. So object type info create, we'll call it player character, as opposed to like an NPC character. Okay. One more parenthesis. Okay, so that'll work for new characters. And so for the moment, we always update a character. So I'm going to plop it in there for now too. Won't hurt to reset it every time. And that means that in our scripting stuff, for the moment, I'm going to park this here. Player character with, okay, so then we're going to say add action, set skin color, skin color. Okay, just to keep my types, and we're going to do hair color. See, eventually, yeah, so eventually I will actually disable these because they'll be done on the server side. But we're going to log info, skin color, and hair. But anyway, there's this whole scripting infrastructure built in, which I was coming at before, how it all gets hooked up. Okay, so that So this is not the right place for this to live, but that will work for now. And I think there's already something to make sure all the actions get sent across. Okay. Character hosted state. Or character service. Oh yeah, it normally doesn't need to. Okay, I just finished the Pepsi and there's normally 5 minutes left in the live stream. I think we'll be able to finish this part at least. One of the points I was going to make earlier about the character stuff is that if I get everything else done tonight, I can spend basically all day tomorrow fixing the last few bugs and seeing if I can turn the male and female humans into male and female elves and male and female dwarves. I'm not making any promises. There's no way I'll get the reptilians done this weekend. I don't even really know exactly what I want them to look like yet. So, but the elves are essentially slightly skinnier humans with long ears and horns. So they should be really easy to do. The dwarves may cause me problems because it could turn out that is this running? I am not logged into the public server, but there is a public server that Oakster is logged into right now, and he's doing a bunch of stuff over there. So if you had logged into the public server, you could hang out with Oak. But I'm doing this on my local dev environment right now. The public server will be updated on Sunday when I cut the new release. Okay, so let's click and see what happens. All right, it didn't blow up. And we should have seen a log somewhere. Object type registry, creating player character, standard objects, set skin color, skin color. Yes. Okay, so we are calling back to the server. Okay, so we're good to do a couple things now. So in here, not here. So in here, when we first open up and have created the UI, or actually whenever we restart watching the character entity, we want to make sure to reset those appearance colors so that the in-game UI, the host to get to the public server loads, it's just, if you go, join a game, it'll be right there, it'll load up, just give it a second. I'll show you again when I run this again. Okay, so we hooked up the UI to automatically set the buttons to the right color, and then if we go over here to, where's the base objects.groovy, there it is. So in here, instead of just logging it, we can say was it object skin color, object boom, boom, hair color. Now see, Groovy would have let me not specifically type those, but then that creates like a way, that a backdoor way a player could have set their own components that weren't hair color, if they hacked in. So let's test this out, and I'll show you how to join the server. Oh, Mac joined, so he knows. He figured it out. I assume that's Lando Calrissian who just joined. But so anybody who's watching, if you join multiplayer, if you get a second, it goes out to the web and figures out what your port is, or your public IP address should show you that. Oh no, that's for if you're hosting. But it goes out and checks my list of public servers, and so figures it out. And I can add, if any of you guys set up your own public server that is going to be up all the time and you want to add it to the list, I can. You know, based on a certain amount of trust that you're not going to be doing bad things to my players. Okay, so fade. Come on, lovely fade. Let's make you regular colored again. Okay, yeah, it's the tilde warp and then the coordinates, or pound and a name of a mark you've already laid down. Okay, so let's check it out. Character, boink. Hey, look at that! The button's updated to her color, and so then we should be able to say reset. Okay, so no, that part's not working. Okay, so I am changing her skin color. Check that out. So we can give her Orion green or whatever. So we should be able to reset and do this, and then just boink, boink, and then she's back to regular. So there's still a problem here in that if I reset, it does here and doesn't reset her hair color. But if I bring this up, it does, right? So that's one last little bug to hook up, but look, fade looks like fade again. And so we can give her some decent clothes. And where's her classic shirt vest? Yeah. And we can take off that burlap. That's the funny thing is, like, if you were logged into the server and you're changing your clothes, players can see that. So if you strip down in the nude out in public, you know, players will see you naked, your character naked, and so there's like a slight motivation to find someplace private to start changing clothes, which I think is kind of cool. I always feel a little weird about it. It actually, pants with belt is what I really wanted to wear. Yeah, there we go. That's Fade's outfit. Well, now I think I'm going to give her a worn belt. So let's do that real quick. So let's go to clothing, and I'm going to change. Where's the pants with belt? These are in alphabetical order, right? Yes. Pants with belt. So I'm going to edit that clothing. Now I could do the long way and go and individually do this, but I'm going to see that's leather natural, and so we will do a search and replace. That's one of the ways you can quickly create some clothing, is find something that's like what you want and then pick the color, do a find and replace on it. In this case I'm going to find and replace leather with dark aged. Okay, so replace, and so now she's got like a dark aged leather belt. Kind of cool. Okay, so now, or that pants does, so I save the clothing, I go back to here, and I have to remove the pants with belt, so she's going to be naked for a second, because I didn't give her any underwear. Let's give her at least some underwear. There we go. So now if I put the pants with belt on again, now it's got that dark belt, which I think looks nicer. Pretty cool. I should give her, I think actually silver belt looks nice. Okay, so that's all working. I want to get let's give her green skin. Oh, that's awful with the blue shirt. Okay, so we've got her blue skin, so she's kind of some kind of weird. Okay, so let's real quickly, I'm going to fix the default thing. Okay, so that's all good. See, that's how we added a little script, and that's kind of cool. Now that I've had this set up, there's some other things I can use that for. Any other kind of custom things we want to be able to do to a player. But over here, when we call reset, we also want to set our callback to color. Yep, that will work. Okay, so now one last test before we call it a night. And I'll briefly talk about why I think dwarves are going to be hard, right? they may bring up a bunch of questions that I'm not ready to answer. Oh, Oak just left. uh, Oak's been building lots of stuff. All right, so let's. She's got blue skin the way we left her. So yeah, the plan is release on Sunday, and then you guys will have all week to log into the server, make some costumes and things. And if you make them on your local, you can use that X key to export them and Control X to import them on my server. That will still be active. Okay, so character. Let's reset her skin. Blink. Oh no, it didn't work. Why did it not work? It ran the set skin color. Oh, it did work. It just took it a second. Okay, so let's set her skin blue again. Yeah, so basically we were still pulling in terrain and stuff from the background. So now if I hit reset, boink. Yeah. Okay, cool. It's all hooked up, all ready to go. I'm set up tonight to paint a little bit of the texture of the male model. The reason I think dwarves are going to give me some trouble is because they're going to be considerably shorter, and so that shrinks the torso and shrinks the legs. And I worry that I will have to, like, so far all the clothing maps to any type of character, and I think that when I shrink the dwarves down, unless I make them particularly tall, their clothes are going to look squashed. There's when you edit clothing, let's edit the basic pants again. So when you edit clothing, you've got swatches that you're placing down. Let's pick wool because there's lots of colors of wool. So these swatches are in squares, right? And I worry that when the dwarf is shrunk down, that it's going to look weird, that you'll have a bunch of these, you'll have way too much resolution vertically because they'll all be like thin little squares. So I have to see, I'm going to, maybe shrink them down. And then there's always the thing, well, why do I only have a female human torso, dummy to play with? I'll need a dwarf dummy. Whereas the female human sort of works for both the men and the women, and it's just a bunch of work. So I'm going to try the dwarves, but if I look at them and it's really crappy, that means that I need like a whole different clothing template for dwarves, and that means that sort of realistically, human clothing will not automatically transfer to dwarves and stuff like that. And if that's the case, I won't be able to get that done this weekend. If it's just a matter of rescaling the model and, holding my nose about crappy animations, that's one thing. So let's undo. Okay. But elves should be easy because, elves should be easy because basically I just take these ears and I turn them into long pointy ears sticking out of the side of their head, and I give them some horns on top of their head. But basically they're going to be the same. I might skinny them up a little bit, but for the most part, they're just kind of placeholders to make sure everything's hooked up. And they're going to be the easiest race to do because they are so similar to humans. All right, I think that's all I'm going to do tonight. Thank you guys again for joining. I think we got some good stuff done tonight, and hopefully some people learned some things. And yeah, I'll want to put a spacer in there. I think that's why I had that blank label in before. So I'll mess with some formatting and stuff. But for once, I won't have to rewrite everything I did in the live stream. Nice. Like your property box? Did you create a property box near the spawn? Or did you put your property down near your little village? Anyway, I need to add the scripting command so I can grant people new properties and bigger properties, so that when you do create a village far away, I can give you like the old Mythruna. I could give you town charters, which lets you place a whole to protect a whole town, and then give out sub elements to other players if you just wanted to let them build in part of your town. I like it, just like, yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's because it's far away. Nobody's going to find it. We don't have dedicated griefers yet. That's one of the reasons I just put the link up here. Because back in the old Mythruna, we'd have new players logging in almost every day for some period of time, and some of them would, stumble across the server, log in, and just walk around griefing stuff. Like crazy amounts of time they spent just clicking and destroying other people's things. I just don't understand. I don't really understand the mentality. It's not like in Minecraft where you could blow something up. You actually had to click the blocks away, and they really did some really awful damage. And so I spent a lot of time coding in server admin tools for resetting parts of the world back to the way they were and keeping version. I haven't put that in yet, which is one of the reasons that I want to sort of restrict it to folks who are actually interested in the game and willing to type stuff in. So far, touch wood, we haven't had any griefers, and I hope not to until we open it up. Yeah, there was some really cool stuff on the old server. That's definitely true. And all within what, in modern terms, all within easy walking distance of the spawn. Right now, you really have to venture out. But I think that because you can see so far into the distance, I'm hoping that people will see stuff on the horizon that looks interesting, and that will tempt them to walk over there. Yeah, good, nice. All right, guys, this has been a great live stream for me because I got actually stuff done that I'm not going to have to rewrite as soon as the live stream's over, so that's awesome. And I actually get to tick a few boxes off my checklist, so that's good too. And then I can focus on fixing bugs and modeling. There's a few little bugs I have to fix. But otherwise, let me pull up the thank you. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. Please like the video, and if you have some comments, things I can do better, things you'd like to see on the live stream in the future, comment please. Yeah, Friday night coding. So, and I'll thank the patrons again. Teamwork makes the dream work. Thanks, guys. And I'm going to go ahead and shut it off before I lose my voice because I'm actually coming down with something. So thanks a bunch, everyone, and I will see you guys online and in the Discord. Again, link up in the top left corner. Or, well, it was. You have to rewind a little bit. All right, thanks, guys. See you next time.